So I get it. Today, things are pretty hard for people in their 20s. You're just getting your first job. You may still be studying. You're just trying to figure out how things are going in life and just trying to set yourself up. But in my personal opinion, your first 10K really does matter in your financial journey. Taking that first step to be able to have financial security and financial freedom. Having that first 10K means that you've really got money working for you, not just saved, but invested. That's when your dollars are actually employed and working for you. In this video, I want to explain why I believe 10K is such an important figure in life and what happened in my experience of getting my first 10K. So as you can see, firstly, before we start, the snowball effect is well and truly in play. And if we look at the numbers here, just 10K invested over 40 years will give you $537,000. So if you have that 10K actually being put to work, the results are there to be seen. The nature of the beast is this. A lot of people put off 10K really quickly, but it's actually a very big figure. And if you can see here, the median balances from Westpac, a very well-known bank, that number is actually really high. For 18 to 24-year-olds, they've only got a median balance of a couple of grand. You know, most people aren't getting 10 grand at all in their balances. And that's a worrying figure. It shows the nature of where we are financially, and that's what I'm trying to push going forward. Let me go over my experience of hitting 10K. I hit my first 10K when I was 20 years old. I was working as a freelance data collector on the side while I was still studying to become a data analysis. And I thought that by becoming a data collector, it would link really nicely to my career down the line, which it did, and it helped me along in my journey. I did it part-time for a period of time, and since you're living at home, you keep your expenses really low, and I was able to get it within about half a year. I quickly invested it, and what happened was, due to the nature of where silver is, which I'll show you a graph right now, it's a pretty hard earning asset right now because of the nature of the dollar. So I did really well with that, and I was able to get some good figures out of that, and that's why I believe that 10K is a really important mark. I mean, if $10,000 is invested and it gives you a 10% return, that's $1,000 that you're getting versus only a few grand. It's not as great. So I just want to go over why I believe 10K is such an important figure. I believe people don't actually understand the positives of getting to this number. Some people think that it's easy, but it's one of the slowest milestones to be able to get to. And here's why I believe 10K is so important. Firstly, it gives you some safety. Secondly, you can take on many more emergency expenses. Number three, you can have a brief cushion for employment situations. Number four, you can now think long term, as you're not in survival mode as much. So by safety, I mean that you're no longer living from paycheck to paycheck. The scenario is a bit different now, and you're able to think on a longer term horizon. You have to be very cheap with your money, and you have to keep things very tight. And it's just, on a security level, it's not as great when you've got less than $10,000. You know that any kind of small change in life can really hit you badly. So that first 10K, when you just look at it and you see it in your bank account, you know you've got 5 figures behind you. It's just a reassuring feeling, and you just know that you've got something working for you that's really safe. And the biggest thing is, as I said, your investments are working for you. It's a really decent amount of money that the nature of the snowball effect is now in full focus. You've now got money that's working for you and can, rise at such a rapid rate. Talking 527,000 over 40 years. If it just continues to compound, it just becomes a lot easier to invest. And it also opens the door past 10K. I mean, getting to your first 10K is a very slow process, but after that 10K, things can get really good really quickly. It's pretty quick that I got to $20,000. After that, since you're working and you've got an income plus your investments are now working for you. And I feel like once you get over that 10K mark, which is a pretty slow process, it gets a lot quicker from there. It also changes you as a person. Getting to 10K in the first place forces you to be better with your money. You have to have a set period of time of at least a few months, if not years, where you're just looking after your money. You're not making stupid decisions. You're not out gambling your money. Stupid sunk expenses are no longer a thing. And it changes you as a person because it forces you into much better habits. Are those habits concrete? Absolutely not. I don't feel like 10K changes everything for you, but it just gets you well and truly off the mark. And it means that now you're in a situation where you've made the right habits and you've had to have done something right to get those first $10,000. So here's the thing which I'm sure everyone wants to know. How do you get your first $10,000? To be honest, it's not that hard. And the main lever you've got to focus on is probably that income side. Do you have an income that's working for you? Now, I understand a lot of people in their 20s, they're a bit lost right now with everything that's going on. Maybe they're working full time, they're studying full time, and things are a bit difficult right now. But I want to pull up this chart. The nature of it is that $10,000, if you just have regular savings of about $400 per month, it will take you almost 2 years to get to that $10,000 mark. And $400 per month is a really small figure. That's really easy to be able to pull in $400 per month. You can get more than that just working at McDonald's or just having any part-time work. And I don't want to disrespect anybody, but any form of income is a good start. And the other side of the lever is your expenses. How are you eliminating expenses at all costs to get to this process of $10,000 as quickly as possible? Because I tell you, if you can eliminate those expenses and keep them on the low, it means that getting to that 10 grand will be very quick, and it'll be a lot less than 2 years. And I'm talking some costs like going out, like drinks, like doing stupid things with your mates, just living a simple life. Just getting yourself sorted and getting yourself set up is really important. You don't want to be wasting any money on that journey to $10,000. And that's why I think it's an important process getting to $10,000, because ultimately it's a massive change that you have to do to yourself in order to make it to that massive figure. For me, it was pretty simple. I just tracked my expenses really carefully. I lived from home, so things were very simple for me. And I began to study from the right people like Robert Kiyosaki. I put my money into silver, and that $10,000 was quickly put away to good use, because at the end of the day, that $10,000 I didn't need when I've got my expenses so low. Out of that $10,000, let's say you put $2,000 aside, and you use the rest of that money and really deploy it as best as you can. For the nature of how silver's gone, it's allowed me to quickly go from 10,000 to many, many more. So understanding quickly, it's not just about saving, but it's about investing. Now, you don't have to invest every cent. That's not what I'm saying, but just getting to work on that is really helpful. And that's what I work on teaching in this channel. I hope I brought a point across. Ultimately, $10,000 is not a small feat, but it's a massive start in your journey. It changes you as a person in order to get to that result. And from my experience, it's a massive marker in working on my investing journey. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new. If you want to learn more about financial self-improvement, this is the channel to go to. I teach people how to invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin, help people in their 20s take their first steps in their financial journey and towards financial freedom.